Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and our boat has stopped at the town of Edfu, EDFU, and there is a temple here, which I understand is one of the most well-preserved temples in Egypt, although it too has a lot of destruction that I'll tell you about in this video. So come along with me with what is so far pretty much a daily temple visit. Let's walk through it. Now this is really close to where the boat docked, and I rode here on one of these one-horse buggies that you see a lot of for tourists. So at the end of this video, I'm gonna video some of the ride on the horse and buggy and some of the shots through town. And this seems to be the main gate to the temple.
Yes, Edfu Temple was built in the year 257 BC, and they finished building this one in the year 37 AD. So over 280 years, this is the time was taken to finish building the temple. Here at Edfu Temple, three major kings built it: Ptolemy III, Ptolemy VI, and Ptolemy IX. So over the 180 years, the three of the kings built the temple here. This temple is dedicated for the god Horus, the falcon-headed god, the god of protection. There is the mud-brick enclosure wall that is go around the complex of the temple here, and the building there, which is under restoration nowadays. This is the Mamizi, or the bird house, like the one we visited at Philae. Then here is the pylon of the temple. The traditional scenes on the pylon, the smiting the prisoners there, catching a group of them in front of the god Horus, and the same thing was repeated or recorded on the other wing of the pylon. Then there are two falcon statues there, great granite statues guarding the entrance of the temple. The one on the left hand side is got a statue of a man there. This is Ptolemy XI, the man who built the pylon and the two statues. We go in there. So that's more. The same usage, let's say. So yes, outer courtyard, pylon, the inner courtyard, surrounded by the column, and if you look at the capitals of the columns, you see the Greco-Roman style, and in front of us as well. So there, yes, we can tell we are into my temple because of the capital of the column. There were more statues of the falcon god Horus there, great grand statues. One of them is down, the other one is still standing, and the combined crown of Upper and Lower Egypt is over the head of the house. The scenes around here are the traditional offering scenes. You see them offering. It's more interesting. Where we are, one of the main sections of the temple, the 12 columns should be supporting the roof. As I said out there, this is one of the two most intact temples all over Egypt. So we are seeing a temple, and we are giving, or that gives us an idea about how the temple looked like when they were first built. There are two rooms here within this hypostyle hall. We call them the libraries of the temple. That's where they used to keep the papyrus scrolls, the registration about the temples, the army, everything valuable and written on the papyrus would be kept within the two rooms here. The things on the current, as well as the procedures of building a temple. If the king decided to build a temple, he again couldn't just come and start building a temple. He had to go through the procedures, and here we see the goddess Hathor holding hands with the king. Okay, introducing him to the god Horus, the falcon-headed god, as if she was saying, well, my husband, the king here, is going to build you a temple. Standing in front of the goddess with the star on top of the head, this is the goddess Seshat of construction and engineering. Both of them were like digging the basement of the temple, announcing the beginning of building the temple, and the god Horus was watching there at the back. Then spraying the water, the holy water, in front of the god Horus. This is the land is going to be the temple there. Then here the king is offering the bricks, basically over there. Then finally the god Horus accepted that and started, because they see the boat I was trying to say about the lost Judaism, that would be a boat and a golden statue of the god Gandara. So we have here the boat, which is not the original boat of Horus Hera. No, this is a replica one. The temple here was found in the year 1816 by the French Egyptologist Marietta. We came to the point where Horus was born from Isis and Osiris. And I did say that the god Seth kills his brother to get his eyes and through the course of the mind. Horus, when he became a young man, he decided to take revenge, decided to kill his uncle, the god Seth, because of killing his father. So battles started between Horus and his uncle, the god Seth. One of those battles where Horus has lost his eyes. Okay, so the eye of Horus is always known as the sign of protection. The god Seth.
By the way, here and in the other temples where you see the images destructed, that was all destruction done by the Coptic Christians back in those years. And they were living in this temple based around a religion that they hated. But this is a place where they had refuge from the Romans that were trying to kill them. Interesting. Now, I have never heard of the Coptic Christians until I came here. I have no idea who or what they were, but I'm going to do some research, because destroying other people's property because you don't agree with it doesn't sound very Christian-like to me. So I'm going to do some research to find out just what's going on, why they did all this destruction, how they justified it. I mean, it sounds like much more like something other religions would do who do not agree with them. Would not expect this from any Christians I've ever heard of. Here's a narrow hallway. But all this artwork, even in a little hallway like this, I think it's pretty amazing. The work it would take to carve all this. My goodness, can you imagine? Look at this. This has very little destruction to it, I think. Well, still, they didn't like the heads. The heads seem to be what they disliked the most. Couldn't stand seeing those heads of people from other religions. Here's another similar image to the one I've showed you before, where a guy has got his arms spread out, a big headdress, and whatever this is. Oh, here's one that's interesting. Several repeating images, like several guys back to back, heads chopped off. This is the temple, and here's the steel gate they've made going out into the courtyard so they can lock it up when you don't want people in here. They have these two birds, maybe they're falcons probably, that are guarding the entrance to the temple. Then that one has a headdress. This one has lost his headdress and his nose, his beak. But the head of this one is pretty intact. Let's zoom in on this lady with a hole, a square hole in her head. Ouch. Looks like bullet holes. I think this is the actual navel in the middle there. And then somehow these other holes were jabbed in there. Maybe it's just me, but I still can't get over the fact that every single one of the women shown have a large breast on one side and nothing at all on the other. It's like half man, half woman. Maybe I could do some research on that as well to see just what that means. So that's actually the middle courtyard, and this is the front courtyard. Has another falcon here with no headdress, but this one does. I'll give you a wide scan of this courtyard. And there are also other buildings higher up outside the courtyard. I don't know if that's part of the temple or not, but there it is, whatever that is for. Well, I'm back at my boat. Hope you enjoyed this video as well, folks. Good day.